deadline, there were rumors I was going to New York for Spike Lee. Because I asked Mr. Bomber, he said, hey, listen, nobody's safe except the Condor. The Condor. Have you seen the Condor? It's not easy to be a comedian in the morning. That's why they're nightclubs, not day clubs. It's amazing what the Cavaliers did. They have more new faces than the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They dump more NBA players than the Kardashian sisters. But why do you do that? We're here to honor some basketball greats. I was backstage and watching that video a few months ago with all of the legends and seeing you stand up. It's amazing. It reminds me of how I fell in love with the NBA. And like so many of the legends, they're here today, and I look out and I see Bill Russell. Dr. J, George Gervin, the Dodgers' Magic Johnson, the logo, Mr. Jerry West, James Worthy, Luke Walton's dad is here, Rick Barry, Rick Mahorn, Dikembe Mutombo, all of them legends, or as LeVar Ball calls all of you, I grew up in the 60s when the NBA was just an infant on television, watching the Sunday game of the week. We only had 3 networks, and you had 3 channels, so you had to get up actually to change the channel. But I remember watching the St. Louis Hawks with Bob Pettit, who was the league's first MVP. Will, Tal Greer, Billy Cunningham with the 76ers. The Celtics with all of those great players. Cousy, Sam and Casey Jones, Havlicek, Satch Sanders, Frank Ramsey, Tommy Heinsohn, would light up a big fat cigar on the bench. Man, how times have changed. Today he would just vape. I was a Knicks fan back then, and when I got a little older, I tried to go to every Knicks game I could at the old Madison Square Garden on 8th Avenue and between 49th and 50th. And back then, it may be hard to believe, but the Knicks were struggling. But then they put together a team the way you're supposed to put together a team. And it's like, it's a real lesson to anybody in the NBA who's trying to put together a team. They did it right. They drafted Willis Reed and Walt Frazier. They made an incredible trade for Dave DeBusschere. Bill Bradley finished his Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford, a Rhodes Scholar in Oxford. And he came back to play with Dick Barnett, who was fallback Dick Barnett hitting jumpers. And on the bench we had All-Americans like Cassie Russell and Dave Stallworth, and a weird-looking hippie named Phil Jackson. And they were led by Red Holtzman. And they played the game the right way. They hit the open man, they played great defense, and it proved you don't need just heroes. You need a team. And if you play as a team, basketball is a beautiful thing to watch. So then I moved to LA in '76 and I became a Laker fan. And I went to I had season tickets, and like then candidate Trump said, I just got tired of all the winning. And now I've been a Clipper fan for a long time. I went to my first Clipper game. I can't remember how I got there. Oh yeah, I lost a bet. And I went to the old sports arena, I tell you, I fell in love with it. I loved an underdog. I mean, I used to root for the Washington Generals, who once lost 2,500 straight games to the Globetrotters. And folks, it has not been easy in Clipper world. Not. Like the great fans of the Brooklyn Dodgers of the 50s, whose mantra was, wait till next year, ours is wait till next decade. When I first started going to Clipper games, it was just me, Ralph Lawler, and the players. A triple-double meant there were 3 couples in the stands. We were so bad, we was terrible. We had more embarrassing losses than France. But I love going to the games and watching the great players in the league, so watching all of this talent, I was glued to my seat, because that's the way the Clippers would keep you from leaving. But over the years, the teams got better, then worse, then better, then really worse. We had some good players. We also had some rescues, but over time we had some great players. Danny Manning, Elton Brand, Ron Harper, Mark Jackson, Doc Rivers, Sam Cassell, Corey Maggette. Then we had Blake, Chris Paul, Jamal, JJ. Where the hell are they? And the last few years, we got oh so close, and now we're not as close, but we're in a bit of a little rebuilding mode, and I promise all the Clipper fans listening today, believe in the process, because I think we are poised to win it sometime this century. Now, I've watched the game evolve over the years. It's much more diverse. In fact, now there are 3 Gentile owners. I started loving basketball when I was about 10. You need a hero. You need a hero to get you involved in a sport like that. My first hero was a local high school star, a point guard. He was only 5'9", 5'10". Became a great college player in North Carolina, an Olympic gold medalist in 1964, star in the ABA, a Hall of Fame basketball coach, Larry Brown. I wanted to be Larry Brown. I walked like him, I talked like him, I even moved 9 times. And I played in high school. Take a look, that's me up there. Yeah, cute. The scrape on my knee was when the peach basket we shot layups on fell to the ground. We were playing Erasmus, and the guy I was guarding was so big his crucifix had a real man on it. But I love to watch the NBA, and I marvel at all the changes that I've seen over all of these decades. For me, my first change that I remember was when Wilt came into the league. Wilt, in jazz terms, was a big band. He was powerful, huge, big brass section. Then Elgin